Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate you holding this hearing. I think just first and foremost to each and every one of you, I just want to say, firstly, that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you all are going through the things that you're going through. I know that I understand and have experienced not all of what you all are experiencing, but some of it. When I was 16 years old, my father was diagnosed with a rare form of lung cancer. He was in experimental trials in order to save his life. My family almost lost our home in order to try to keep him alive and just try to keep our family together. A lot of folks, many people know that I was working in a restaurant when I got elected, but they don't know why. And the reason why was because we lost my father to a rare form of lung cancer. We couldn't find treatment for him. And so the other thing that I want to say too is that none of this is your fault. And so often we are made to feel guilty for the things that we cannot afford when there is no reason that our treatment should be this expensive in the first place. One of the things that I wanted to kind of get at is this idea that all these drugs should be as expensive as they are right now, because I don't think that that is true. Ms. Skipper, you said that with your insurance, your insulin is $1,000 a month. Is that correct?
Yes.
When insulin was first developed, the patent was sold. Do you understand? Do you know this story?
Yeah, for $1.
For $1, right?
Yeah.
That's how much the patent for all insulin was sold for. Mm-hmm. Do you know the reason why it's $1,000 with insurance for you?
No.
Neither do I.
I have no idea.
And frankly, I don't think corporations understand. Well, I don't think corporations will give us a reason why. A lot has been made about how much money has been spent on research and development. Between 2006 and 2015, about $465 billion was invested in research and development. I think every dollar put into research and development of pharmaceuticals is a good dollar spent. But let me see, Mr. Mitchell, are you familiar with stock buybacks?
I know what they are.
And what is a stock buyback?
It's when a company decides to purchase shares of its stock in order to drive up its stock price.
So between those roughly 10 years, $465 billion was spent on research and development. The amount that pharmaceuticals spent on that same time to buy their own stock for the sole purpose of driving up the price was $516 billion. So they spent more than their entire budget on research and development on a tactic to drive up their own stock price. Stock buybacks used to be illegal in this country. And once they were made legal, they were allowed. And one of the things is that when a company buys their own stock, it drives up the price of their stock. And something that's not talked about is that CEO pay is tied to stock price. So CEOs right now are not incentivized to invest in research and development. They're incentivized to raise their stock price. So, there's a lot of debate as to what can be structured, whether we can go single payer, whether we maintain our insurance system the way that it is, how you make it more competitive, whether you don't, et cetera. But I think one very clear thing that we can see, Mr. Chair, is that if we eliminated stock buybacks, we could reduce the cost outlays of insurance company or pharmaceutical companies by at least half when you compare just research and development and the stock buybacks alone. And again, I just want to thank each and every single one of you for sharing your stories today, because there is no reason for a drug as simple as insulin, which costs $21 in Canada for a 10 milliliter bottle, to cost the equivalent of a mortgage payment or sometimes 2 mortgage payments. And with that, I yield. Thank you.